Negara menyambut Hari Kemerdekaan ataupun Hari Kebangsaan ke-64 hari ini. Dan sejak lebih 6 dekad, pelbagai pembangunan dan kejayaan telah dicapai. Namun pandemik merencatkan pertumbuhan negara serta mendedahkan ruang-ruang penambahbaikan terutama dalam sektor digital. Dan untuk berbincang lanjut, saya nak bersama dengan Mak Wu, pengarah urusan Google Malaysia, dan saya akan teruskan temu bual ini dalam bahasa Inggeris. Mark, one of the COVID-19 impact is the rapid migration into digital by our SMEs, but some are facing difficulties or still unable to do so. And how can Google facilitate to ensure a successful recovery process?
Okay, hi. So thanks for having me. Selamat Hari Merdeka. Just want to say that before we kick things off. So it is looking somewhat promising, right? Vaccination is close to 50% of the population. That's a good sign. We are turning around the corner, and focused on helping everyone seize the opportunity will be extremely crucial. And opportunities come in the form of new consumer habits, right? In Malaysia, 60% of new internet users in the past 12 months came from rural areas. And e-commerce is growing fast and will become the norm that we know. And 2/3 of our workforce are working from home and prefer hybrid arrangements going forward. So when you ask what could we do, I would say that we are committed to help businesses in Malaysia pivot quickly and have the required know-how and digital tools. So one way we're doing so is to provide free and easy to use digital platforms to help these businesses be more discoverable and also to grow their online business. So for SMEs, it's free to list on Google Shopping, for example. On Search and Google Maps, we connect over 44 million customer interactions. So personally, I use Maps a lot to find out if my favorite restaurants are open for business during this time. And then there's YouTube, right? YouTube that reaches over 20 million people in Malaysia, where we get budding Malaysian creators produce videos to help one another and at the same time make a living on YouTube.
Yeah.
And top of...
Sorry, I understand that, but the projection is very promising. But also for SMEs, cost is always the concern to migrate to digital. And how has this new technology that you mentioned just now can reduce this burden, especially for SMEs?
So I appreciate that. I think with new tools and new technology, there's always that mindset of migrating and learning how to migrate. But I can say this, right? So digital enables a lot of efficiency, a lot of productivity. A great example would be Google Ads. So Google Ads compared to other forms of media, it's a pay-per-click model. So if you get a click on your website, you get a click onto your e-commerce store, you only pay for the click. But when people view the ads, they don't pay for it. So that's one. And on top of that, there are a lot of what we call SaaS services, right? E-commerce as a service. There is logistics as a service. So you pay as you go, and these services, if you will, or these technology tools, right, will in a way reduce burden and only have the businesses incur the OPEX when they use it, as opposed to a capital expenditure in their business overall.
Mark, let's take a look at the data. Malaysia ranked among the top countries in Southeast Asia in terms of numbers of internet users in Malaysia. And the Statistic Department said that internet penetration in Malaysia stood at 84% in January 2021. But home-based teaching and learning, or PDPR, has proven the real technology gap in Malaysia. And how do we tackle this, or what are the quick wins?
So I think it's a very important topic, the digital access gap. And I believe that internet should be a utility as opposed to a privilege. On education particularly, we have partnered with the Ministry of Education to roll out free Google for Education, Google Classroom platforms to all public schools. So it is now serving over 3 million students and teachers. So online or hybrid, kids from Sabah who haven't been going to school have been able to access classes, and teachers have been able to teach from the safety of their homes. And we recently spoke to a teacher in Nabawan, Sabah, And she mentions that teachers in her school now can expand teaching materials beyond the standard textbooks or the standard curriculum to elevate her students' learning experience.
Mark, the pandemic has pushed societies to embrace digitalization, including government services. However, in one of the findings in online survey, there was less optimism about the government's capacity to digitalize its services. How can the government, what are your suggestions for government to improve this area?
So, again, I cannot comment on the sentiments, but I've studied the recent government's My Digital Blueprint with a lot of excitement. So I'm optimistic. It has ambitious goals. It says that it wants close to 900,000 SMEs adopting e-commerce, all civil servants to possess digital literacy skills, and 80% usage of cloud across government ministries as well as agencies. So I think this is very promising. And we are grateful to be on this journey with the government, as we recently been appointed as one of the 4 cloud service providers in Malaysia. So we will kerja keras lah, work hard to make this a reality. And we made progress already, especially on the student front, where we're working with the Ministry of Education, as I mentioned earlier, to provide over 3 million students and teachers the ability to learn remotely and through the online platform.
Is Google planning to help more in the future?
Oh, definitely. We're working with all ministries and all agencies to help them digitize and to help them to go cloud first.
That's good. Mark, lastly, last question. It is our 64th Independence Day today, and so maybe you can share with us what are your hopes and what do you aspire the nation to be in the future?
So 64 years is a long time. I think Malaysia has progressed well. We have thriving industries, generally more urban population percentages than our neighbors. Economy has grown multiple folds as well. But I feel that what will make a difference for the next era and what will put us on a global map requires all of us to embrace change and to adapt to new norms. And I don't say this as my capacity of, the managing director of Google Malaysia, but more from the inspiration I get through all the amazing Malaysians who pivoted in business with speed, women who have embraced change to deliver amazing YouTube content and earning a living, and Malaysians from all corners, from Perlis to Sabah, who are now having the opportunity to learn new skills and create new income streams on the digital platform. So with the always be learning mindset and the willingness to adopt change, I know Malaysia will not merely recover, but set path on a journey towards global stardom.
Thank you Mark Wu, pengarah urusan Google Malaysia di atas perkongsian itu tadi. Pastinya mentaliti pembelajaran berterusan itu menjadi kunci kepada kejayaan negara.